Hi, I'm Devin Satterfield, and we're here on my roof today with Greg Ashely. How's it going, Greg?
Pretty good.
So, you play a lot of music. How many bands have you had now?
I don't know. Sorry. I don't know. I had a couple of bands in high school, and then one called The Mirrors that did a couple records in Houston, and then I have a band in Oakland called Greg that has put out a couple records, and then I have a solo record and a new solo record that's coming out in March.
So a lot of people talk about how good of a songwriter you are. When did you write your first song, and what was it about?
The first songs I started writing were like, I got a guitar when I was, I think, 12, maybe like the summer after 6th grade or something like that, and I was really into Beck and Nirvana, so I used to like not really write songs, I just sit around and play like the 3 or 4 chords that I knew and try to like just make up shit as I played and record it, like kind of like the Beck songs that are just like nonsense, it would just be like, and then I kind of had like a rock and roll or kind of punk band. That's when I actually wrote some of the first songs that I wrote.
I don't know. A little sample lyric from one of those songs. You remember anything?
I don't know. I actually have a video of me playing a bunch of those songs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like me and my friend Jeremy, who just moved here. It's like we made this movie when we were 13, I think, and it's like we're sitting in my bedroom, like just doing all this dumb shit, and I'm playing guitar in my pajamas and wearing sunglasses. It's pretty awesome.
So I think I heard a story. I think I heard you telling a story once about how you got signed to Birdman Records, and at the time, Greg didn't even have like a band name, right? So you're calling it The Mirrors just because that's what your band was called in Texas, and you didn't even but it was a different band, and they kind of forced you to come up with that name. And that name's from the Dr. John song, right? Or is that
from Dr. John's first record. It's called Greg, and actually I wanted to call The Mirrors that originally, but everybody in the band was like, "Oh, that's a fucking stupid name. Like, we're not calling our band that," And then I think the drummer came up with The Mirrors, which.
Sounds good.
Thank you. The Mirrors is also, there's like fucking 10 bands called The Mirrors, and there is another band called Greg, which is a Zydeco band in New Orleans.
I know. I've tried to steal your songs on the internet before.
And you ended up with.
Yeah.
Right. So yes. So we, me and Oscar used to play as a 2-piece, and we tried to do this tour that didn't really work out, and we came back and we did a show opening for the Modi Lemon, calling ourselves The Mirrors, and I think that was the first time Joe had played with us as a drummer, and Dave Katz-Nelson from Birdman was there, and he saw us play, and he pretty much signed us up to do some records, and then he obviously said you should name the band, like actually give it a name other than like it's the whole reasoning behind calling it The Mirrors was that I knew I could sell the records that said The Mirrors on them, so I would just lie to people and say it was what we just did.
You had the record. You had a big pile of records to sell, right?
Yeah.
So you play all the time. So I wanted to ask you about some of the most memorable gigs for you. You've opened for a lot of interesting bands and played a lot of weird places. Give me a few stories from playing.
I think the last tour we did, we played in Columbus, Ohio, and this was something that's never happened to me before. So we're playing, and this club setup is like that the stage is this really small square essentially in the corner. You have to walk by it to go to the bathrooms, and I always kind of sit in the back of the stage because I have to be at the same plane or whatever you call it as my amplifier or the microphone that I plug into it, and the guitar will feed back. So I'm kind of sitting in the back, so right opposite to me, to my left, is the restrooms or whatever. And so I'm playing, and this girl walks by, and she comes up and she whispers in my ear she's in 60 seconds, look over to your left or whatever. And so I'm just playing, because we're doing that song that's 20 minutes long or whatever. So it's just, we're just sitting there forever. So I count to 60 and I look over and these 2 girls lift up their shirt and flash me. And I was like, whoa. I was like,
Wasn't this thing at South by Southwest? South by Southwest, where you guys, the power got shut out? No.
Oh, yeah. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah. Tell us about South by Southwest, the Birdman showcase show, right?
Okay. It was the Arthur party, Arthur magazine.
Party, right.
Yeah.
I love that magazine.
And, it is cool. And like, yeah, we were late to get there because we had, I think, 2 gigs that day, and we got directions to the place. And I pull up, it's this place called the French Legation House or something like that. Like, I don't know what this place is, but I guess it's like a really old, like, plantation house, you know, whatever. And I'm like asking people, I'm like, where the fuck do I load in? And I see like the gates open with like a cone in the middle. So I'm like, I just like yelled, I'm like, move the cone, I'm gonna get in here. So I'm driving the van through like essentially this big lawn of this place, and there's like all these people like running out of the way and shit. And I'm like, we got to get to the stage. And then this fucking lady like just runs out and starts screaming at me because we're driving all over the lawn and we're not supposed to be. And I don't know what this is going. Anyways, so we played last, and I guess they were already angry about that. And we played one song, and then they shut the power off, and then we played another song that turned out pretty well. It was like a kind of sing-along thing, and everybody participated. Apple Pie and Genocide.
Oh yeah,
The hit, yeah.
Why did you move to Oakland, and what do you think about Oakland? Like how do you like Oakland? Having been here for what 4 or 5 years now,
Yeah,
something like that.
4 years. I moved here because I did a tour with the Mirrors, and in 2001 or something, I think, and I met this girl at this co-op in Berkeley, and then I moved here because Houston sucks, and you know, I wanted to be with her, and everything worked out really well.
So, having been in Oakland for a while now, like what are your observations? Like if you could, you know, kind of improve some aspects of it, like what would be the thing you'd like to see like change about the city?
I don't know. It's pretty much perfect the way it is. I think if nobody changes anything, it'll be fine. So, I wish someone would open another bar. I wish Lance would open his bar that would be like the Store Club, cheap and good to play at. So, yeah. Other than that, not really having a good place to go see bands and hang out anymore. Yeah, everything's great. Love Oakland.
I'm just gonna have you plug what you got going, what you already have out, what's coming out, where they can find it, the website, all that, you know, your MySpace, all these things.
Okay, so pretty much everything's on Birdman now. There's 2 Mirrors records, one called A Green Dream, one called Patient Flowers, and then there's a solo record I did called Medicine Fuck Dream, and the first Grigri record that's just called The Grigri, and then and yeah, there's singles, and there's a record called For the Season that's a Grigri record, and then I have a new record coming out in March called Painted Garden. That's a solo record.
All right, Greg. Well, thanks a lot for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
He's Greg Ashely. I'm Devin Satterfield. Thanks for hanging out on my roof. This one goes to the pigeons, man. This one's for the pigeons.